If you need any Ultimate Team coins, head over to footcoinking.com. There's a link in the description, and if you use my discount code CHES, CHES, as you can see on screen, you'll actually now get a 10% discount for the rest of FIFA 14. Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again and welcome to episode number 42 of the Dortmund career mode. And yesterday you guys had a big decision to make. We had over 1,000 votes on the vote, and thank you very much for all of the support with that vote. I took the final result at 4 PM yesterday, so I had enough time to make today's episode. And the two players you voted for, centre mid, we had the option of William Carvalho or Aaron Ramsey. You guys chose Aaron Ramsey, and we had the option of Gonzalo Higuain, Karim Benzema and Daniel Sturridge from the attackers as well. Jovetic and Pjanic were just going to cost too much money, and I wasn't going to be able to bring in the two players I needed, hence why they weren't on the vote. You guys voted for Daniel Sturridge, even though we hadn't yet agreed a fee with Liverpool for Daniel Sturridge. You chose him over the already contract accepted Karim Benzema and Gonzalo Higuain. So we'll try and bring in Sturridge. As you can see, Aaron Ramsey has accepted the contract offer. So our first massive signing today is Aaron Ramsey. £23 million from Arsenal. Big player to go alongside, of course, our other new centre-mid signing this window, unexpected centre-mid signing this window, Paul Pogba. So we now have him and Aaron Ramsey sat in those two CM roles, and unfortunately for William Carvalho, he has now been rejected, although I may go back and have a look at him for the third season, because we definitely will be into the third season before FIFA 15 arrives, so I may look at him at a later date. But as you can see, the offer for Daniel Sturridge was accepted, and the contract has also been accepted to £28,750,000, almost said coins there, £28.75 million for Daniel Sturridge, 23 million for Aaron Ramsey, and those are the two massive signings. So unfortunately we have to say no to Karim Benzema and to Gonzalo Higuain, as well as William Carvalho. Apologies to those three, they don't get the chance to sign for us here. I know a few of you were a little bit concerned that they were perhaps unrealistic signings, but it's the last 3 or 4 weeks of FIFA 14. We might as well just have a little bit of fun and get a little bit unrealistic for this last season or two, because it really doesn't make any sort of difference to this series or to FIFA 14 as a whole. And we'll start again, of course, with Chelsea on FIFA 15 and try and make that as realistic as possible. But anyway, we're jumping into the first game of the episode, and actually the only game of the episode, because it's deadline day as well. But we've got FC Cologne away from home. They currently sit 9th in the table, as you can see. We are currently top, trying to maintain that gap now that we've managed to build with the teams below us in Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich. And in fact, new signing Daniel Sturridge was racing away here in the 6th minute. I wasn't confident to shoot with him on his right, so I tried to turn him onto his left, and unfortunately he just couldn't quite find the shot on target, and it drifted wide of that far post. But that was the first of many chances to come in this game. Paul Pogba and Aaron Ramsey were both starting as well. As you can see, Juha up top for Cologne was absolutely tearing me a new one. He was definitely their main threat in this game, and he danced around a couple of the defenders there. Fortunately for me, he put his shot wide of the far post, and both teams now have had a let-off with chances, good chances, being spurned. But Daniel Sturridge was through again, but that touch, that extra little touch there, I asked him to shoot quickly and he didn't. He took that extra little touch, and unfortunately that made it get too far away from him, and the goalkeeper was able to come out and smother the shot, and we weren't able to take the lead. So we're coming up towards half time now, 0-0 as we head 10 minutes from the break, and great strength from their man there to whip it across. And Juha again, or Juja, I don't know how to pronounce that, I apologise, I'll call him Juja for now. Juja headers that just over the bar, and unfortunately for them, they aren't able to take the lead. We got a short free kick in first half stoppage time. In fact, Daniel Sturridge involved. Nice little ball into Raheem Sterling. Not too much space there though, but you see Shaqiri making the move on the right hand side. Finesse shot, well saved, but Paul Pogba is there and he's able to put the ball into the back of the net from the rebound. Really nice finish, although it was an easy finish to be completely honest. His first goal for the club. I'm pleased to get him off the mark in that CM role, because we want him and Ramsey to both be solid defensively and creative offensively as well. And it was another defensive mistake, or another bit of good fortune in our favour, for us to score a second goal just after the half-time break. Shaqiri there nicks it off the defender, tidily slots it underneath the goalkeeper, and we find ourselves 2-0 up. But they just brought on Patrick Helmers. You could have just seen that in the top left just before the graphic disappeared. And actually, he's going to get a chance here for them. I give the ball away with Shaqiri, and Lehmann picks it up. Finds Helmers on the edge of the box. Good shot by Juha, well saved by Weidenfeller, and Patrick Helmers on the pitch 30 seconds has an open goal in front of him. And somehow, don't ask me, why or how he was able to put this against the woodwork and wide rather than into that bottom corner. A player of his quality should be finishing that all day long. But we made a couple of changes. Heung-min Son and Yuri Sahin coming on for Paul Pogba and Marco Reus. So we tried to freshen things up, both solidifying in the midfield at the back and adding a little bit more of some pacey fresh legs up top. Great block from Socrates there on the initial cross, but unfortunately Yuja, we said he was being the main threat and he was again, scores the goal for them to bring them back into the game in the 69th minute. My two changes so far hadn't worked, but we're going to come on the attack again a few minutes later. Sahin involved, plays a lovely ball through here to find his fellow substitute Heung-min Son, whips the ball across, it gets flicked on. Daniel Sturridge has the shot well blocked, has the second shot well blocked, third shot in fact is blocked again, and that is the reason why it was able to go over the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. One of the scrappiest debut goals you'll ever see in your life, but Daniel Sturridge is able to get off the mark in his first game, and we take a 3-1 lead. It was a really fortunate. In fact, all three goals were fortunate in our favour, to be completely honest. A rebound, defensive error, and then, of course, that scrappy one at the end. And they actually came close to a second there, as you saw. The ball squirmed underneath Roman Weidenfeller, but we were able to get it away, and we were able to claim all 3 points with a 3-1 win. So delighted with that. Pleased as well that all three players, or all three new players, should I say, had very, very good games as well. Sturridge, of course, getting his goal. And we were involved in a lot of the biggest and latest deals. You see, the Pogba deal was £17.5 million plus Sami Khedira, who was valued, or judging by that, was valued around about 12 million. And we get a massive offer for Phil Jones from Manchester City, of course, formerly of Manchester United. And this is a big. I had to really stop and think about this one, because he doesn't play too much for us at the minute, but he has grown to 85 overall and still is only 22 years of age. Despite it being a big number of an offer, I am going to turn it down and have done. And we're also, despite Bayer Leverkusen offering us more than twice what Matthias Ginter is rated at or valued at, I'm going to reject that one as well, because I see both of those players playing a big role for us in the third season. I'm thinking of moving on, perhaps even Neven Subotic and Omar Toprak, but Toprak is definitely going to move on in the summer transfer window if I'm able to get my way. But anyway, we're going to end the video with a squad report. Of course, we're out of the January transfer window now, so you guys can see exactly what the squad is looking like as we try and tackle the second half of the season with all of our new players in tow. If, as always, if you want to see anyone in particular and their detailed stats, then feel free to pause the video and you can have a look at someone in more detail. But we will scroll through all of the players in the background. And of course, as always, feel free to leave the video a like if you enjoyed. Thank you again for all of the support with the vote and all of the comments on yesterday's video. You guys chose those two signings, so hopefully I can do them justice and you guys will have made the right decisions. Of course, yesterday we had the 100th episode special of the My Player series, so definitely check the channel page for that if you missed it. It was almost half an hour long, so it took me ages to render and upload. It took like 5 hours to upload because of my stupid rural internet. Hopefully we'll be moving house soon so I can get fibre, and a video like that will upload in about half an hour rather than 5, but still, all of that is hopefully going to be sorted out before FIFA 15. I've got a horrible feeling going to be moving the week of FIFA 15, so we'll have to keep an eye on all of that. And of course, I will, as always, keep you up to date with everything that goes on. If you want to stay bang up to date and know exactly what goes on with me and the channel, then feel free to follow me on Twitter or add me on Facebook. Links in the description. Also follow me on Instagram as well if you want to do just that. I know a lot of you guys are jumping on the Instagram train. A lot of guys from the YouTube scene are actually getting loads and loads of followers on Instagram, so it's kind of not taking over from Twitter, but it's complementing Twitter. You guys seem to like following on the social media on all platforms, so feel free to do that. All of the links are in the description down below. But that's going to bring this episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, feel free to subscribe if you're new here. There's a link in the top right and the description to do so. We're over 18,000 subs now, hoping to hit 19 before FIFA 15, and with your help we may just do that. As you can see, we're still top of the table, 7 points clear now of FC Bayern Munich, and hopefully we can retain our Bundesliga title. We won it last year ahead of FC Schalke, although it was a very, very close run thing. This year, we seem to be building up a little bit of a head of steam, but there are still 11 games to go, still 33 points available, and it could all change between now and the end of the season. But that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll have Luis Suarez's Road to Redemption tonight, more My Player and FIFA 15 predictions tomorrow, and I will see you next time.